It's a hidden fact that I was unemployed for 11 months of my life. Oh my god. And today I'm like, oh my god, life is challenging me. Aaja, chal kushti khelte hain.
Because ma'am, again, the conversational skills,
And that is when I realized that if me as an individual is struggling,
जो होता है भले के लिए होता है, it happens for your own good.
as a startup owner, as I mentioned, you're doing everything. Jhadu, katka, pocha. With great power comes great responsibility. And everyone just looked up and they're like, you.
So it's called fund it or kill it.
It's just like be okay to lose interest. It's okay not to like what you're doing. मुझे अपना जॉब छोड़ना है भाई, तुम्हारे expenses की तो
God's plan by Drake, guys.
I think that was the initial point. I want to be an artist. Who is Pooja Anandani? What is resume?
Hello and welcome back, future leaders, to our very first episode of Growth Garage. I am Kirti, your host, and we are back with fresh conversations, a new guest, and stories that truly matter. This podcast, which you're about to watch, isn't just another entrepreneurial talk or something meant only for founders. Growth Garage is for youngsters who have the willingness to do something but are still searching for the right path. Here, we bring the journey of entrepreneurs, innovators, and amazing personalities straight to you, especially the ones journey that deserve to be known. Our guest for today is Ms. Pooja Anandani. She's the CEO and founder of Resume. She's someone who has seen that transition from being a corporate girlie to a full-fledged businesswoman. Her journey, when I was talking to her, was really inspiring and relatable at the same time. And I have tried my best, guys, to keep the conversation as light as possible. So sit back, enjoy the episode, and let's grow together. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
Super excited.
Do these lights nervous you, or is it a lot of focus, or you feel like this is really natural to you?
This is the real me.
This is the real you. You like being in front of the camera, I can guess.
Yes.
Same character, ma'am. So, are you comfortable at this point?
Yes, very.
Because our only aim is to make you feel comfortable throughout this particular podcast, because we don't want it to feel like an interview, but rather a podcast where we are discussing entrepreneurial skills. Also merged with it, we are discussing life and how to know you as a better person. So before we get into what Resume is and all the entrepreneurial talks, I want to know, because we were having this conversation earlier with your mom, like how you were into dancing and you have a master's degree in one of the dance forms. So I want to know, like, which dance form you have this expertise in, because it excites me to know behind the curtains of a particular founder, because for the world, they are this founder running a huge company and they've got these entrepreneurial skills and the technicalities, but they have this creative mind which is hidden and only in front of the parents or friends, I would say. So which dance form you were into, ma'am?
So I'm a classical trained dancer for like 25 years now. I have been pursuing Bharatanatyam since I was probably four and a half. I completed my graduation in Bharatanatyam. I completed my post-graduation in Bharatanatyam. Along with that, I am a painter. I'm a canvas painter. I'm a knife painter. I am a sketch artist. One more facet that no one knows, I am authoring a book. It's a rom-com novel. It's called Just Another Prem Kahani by Pooja Anandani.
Ma'am, this title goes so much by the way. I feel like you chose the title so that it could rhyme with your name also. So nice to hear that, ma'am, because you might have heard of David Solomon. He's the CEO of Goldman Sachs and he's a DJ. So when I got to know that he's a DJ and goes under the name of DJ Soul, I was so fascinated that this person who is the CEO of such a multi-billionaire company is a DJ at the end of the day. So yes, it excites me a lot, ma'am. So now I would quickly jump to when I was doing the research on you and I was going through your LinkedIn profile. I saw Resume and I got to know that you're the founder of Resume. I want to know what Resume is, because there was a lot of difficulty and I was not able to understand that what it actually does. How does it help the peers around? So what is Resume? Clear and cut question for you, ma'am.
So to begin with, Resume was a quest in terms of searching who I am as an individual. I didn't know my identity at a point. I didn't know what was I doing in my life and where was I adding value. So that whole culmination of figuring out with myself one night, sitting all alone in my room of, भाई मैं कौन हूँ यार, वो सोच के I was like, चल एक यूरेका moment तो आएगा life में. And finally that moment struck me during 2020, where I realized my goal at the end is to add value in the lives of people. Now how to do that was another task. भाई करूँ तो क्या, मुझे करना है, मुझे help करना है, but कैसे करूँ? That is when I was like, okay, let's figure ideas. Let's figure how can I add value in every individual's life. भाई तुम सब कुछ तो नहीं कर सकते. So finally I decided let's start something which I will hone my skills, use my abilities to add value. And that is what I felt is, I'm very good at my orientation skills, my language abilities, my corporate spaces. And I said, let's put that into action. That is when Resumate came out. So now Resumate is a company which helps individuals build their resumes, their cover letters, their LinkedIn profile optimizations, along with training them for interview purposes, for interviews. We help them with that. So it's like a one-stop solution to help you market someone into the corporate space.
Great. I think it's a very much of a boom industry for students who want to do something, as you said, कि कुछ करना है but पता नहीं करना कैसे है. So I have also struggled with this. We get this mindset कि कुछ तो करेंगे एकदम फाड़ू सा, but we don't know where to start, which path to follow. Your brand totally makes sense for people for me who has logged in and made my account on LinkedIn just few months back. Apparently, I would say.
So just a quick tip. Yes. Do you know you're supposed to have 500 plus connections on LinkedIn to sound genuine? Like you'll be a ghost.
Whenever I was sending these invitations and connect invites, I was looking, everyone has this 500 plus connections and I'm still stuck at 200. So I was like, I don't add value, that's for pretty sure, but okay ma'am, I'm increasing my connections, I would say. That's all I can say. I will not add a lot. Also, I'm not as active on LinkedIn as I should be. I'm most of the time doom scrolling on Instagram, I feel. So yes, that it is, ma'am. Ma'am, you said this was just an idea which came up to your mind because you were randomly sitting and you wanted to help the peers around. Was there a niche for it? How did you resume only came to your mind? Because ma'am, there could be like different genres and there could be different paths also you could follow. What was the niche for it? Because I would say, very in simple terms, I have a good communication skill, but I don't know where to channelize all of that. Whether to be an anchor, whether to be a marketing agent, I don't know whether I should be an actor or any of like that sort. So why resume? Because did you struggle with your resumes in your early days?
Yeah. It's a hidden fact that I was unemployed for 11 months of my life once, where I was struggling to figure कि भाई मैं life में क्या करूँ. And that is when I realized that if me as an individual is struggling, imagine how many people across the globe are struggling. That's the basic ideology. अगर मैं ये suffer कर रही हूँ, I'm sure someone else is also going through the same journey. Maybe more worse than me. Maybe they've been unemployed for 3 years of their life. Maybe 6 years is a job gap. And that is when you realize ki, okay, you know what? If I want to add value, if I have struggled through something, why not help them in the same direction? Also, I am someone who cannot stick to one particular kind of a job every day. मैं बहुत बोर हो जाऊंगी यार. So imagine meeting people from every industry, every kind of designation that I'm meeting. I meet people from pharmaceuticals, from marketing, from hospitality, from consultancy, from hospitality, I said, from financial accounting, from every industry. I mean, imagine from education to NGOs. I'm meeting people every single day. I meet so many clients of mine and they come in from starting, say, you know what, we're a fresher and we're getting into our journey, with someone with 40 years of work experience who was the chief architect of the Burj Khalifa. Wow. So imagine that is people that I've also catered to. I've catered to some top-notch guys across India, high-end designations, MDs of companies, VPs, directors. And that is what makes me feel that, you know what, I'm on the right path, is when I'm able to even add 1% value in the lives of everyone I encounter. So that's how a resume making company came in, because that is like a master of all. You know, every industry, you know, professionals from everywhere, and you're able to add value there.
Ma'am, makes sense. Ma'am, you said like you had this spectrum of people that you are encountering and you're having meetings with. I want to know a very genuine thing. What is the difference you catch between a CEO of a company and a startup founder?
Oh my God.
Because ma'am, again, the conversational skills, the things that they talk about might vary. So I'm not asking you to classify which one is better because we all know, the audience knows. But I want to know, what is the difference, major difference that you catch between these two?
So I'll put myself in the shoes. When I started my company, say in 2020, I was everything. From the झाड़ू मारने वाली to the desks बनाने वाली, desk साफ करने वाली, to filling water for my staff and team and making sure bottles are kept if clients are coming. So in short, I was from a chaprasi to a CEO within the startup. I was struggling 24 hours a day. I would start at 8 a.m. in the morning. I would close at 4 a.m. the next day. I would reach home by 5, and in 2 hours I was back to work. So I have slept for like 2 hours in a span of 24. And I feel the hustle that startup owners or founders have, right? They've just jumped into a space where they are building it from scratch.
Yes, ma'am.
They don't have a roadmap to it.
They don't.
They are building and they're carving their own way. They're building their own journey. Whereas a CEO of a MNC or a multinational company or a consultancy, they already have a preset SOP, a standard operating process. They have to function as per their CEOs, say the ones who preceded them. And also they leave a success hierarchy for the guys who are coming after them, who are succeeding them. So in a MNC or a consultancy or a large scale company, what happens is procedures are very well aligned. If not the CEO, if he cannot fulfill it, who is the next person in charge? They have it written. So a CEO can take a holiday. Whereas in a startup, if I take 1 day of a holiday, I am lagging out with 100 plus calls, 300 plus messages, and I don't know what am I doing next.
True, ma'am. Makes sense so much because I'm working in 2 startups right now, and in one of the startups I'm working as a marketing lead, but I feel like I have put my 2 legs in 10 different domains, and we are doing everything. The whole department is involved in every other department, and it's like a little family trying to make their baby child maybe just walk, I would say. Ma'am, you might have also faced struggles while launching your particular startup. I want to talk on that. What were those particular pointers where you thought that you were not getting, everything was going good, but that particular path was not working for you while you were launching it? And then we'll talk about when you were planning on scaling it more.
So initially, to create a visibility for yourself, where you have tycoons today in the resume writing industry who have been there for about 20, 30 plus years, right? And if their brand is already created, it's huge. Today, if I ask you, who do you want to get your resume from? And if you've not researched the market, what would a basic answer would be either a Foundit, which is now, like initially it was Monster.com, or we will say Naukri, or we'll say Shine, we'll say Foundit. We have certain specific names because we've heard them in the market. Alright. Now, how do you break through that is what was a problem, because I had no backing. I had nothing to show. I didn't have a POA, a proof of action or a proof of validation that, you know what, we can help you curate something. Who is Pooja Anandani? What is Resumade? To build that identity over the last few years has taken me a while. I think that was the initial point. Today, it's very easy to create a website online. It will not take you even 15 minutes to create a backend, give it a full face, create AI images and put up on the website. You can fake client reviews and testimonials also.
That happens, ma'am.
So imagine, the point is, at this point, AI has grown. At that point, we didn't have any, and obviously my moral compass does not support something like that. So in terms of a moral compass, I wanted to make sure that I'm doing everything ethically right. I don't want any fake reviews on Google. I don't need any fake video reviews of my family. Maybe say my mother is giving a review. I didn't want to do that. So to create a niche in an industry which is already filled with pre-existing tycoons, I think that was the biggest challenge which took me a while. And I actually told myself, you know what, 6 महीने है पूजा, अगर 6 महीने में कुछ बड़ा नहीं किया ना Resumade के साथ, तुम वापस जॉब पे लगने वाले हो. So imagine the pressure I put on myself. I literally self-sabotaged myself in a way कि भाई, you have 6 months and 180 days. I'm cutting every day on a calendar saying, अगर तुम्हारे पास 3 महीने बाकी है, कुछ नहीं किया, वापस जाओगे. So imagine that double pressure of not knowing what to do in the industry, how to step in, how to bring your clients, plus the fact कि तुमको वापस जॉब पे लगना पड़ेगा if you don't do anything. So those were 2 moments in my life where I was like, dude, I have to make this work. Nothing else. There's no option.
So, ma'am, you were talking like before this, you were in corporate and you had this 9 to 5 job, I'm assuming, in accounts and financing. So, did you not like the corporate culture, or was it just because you were bored of the monotonous life that it gives you? Because a lot of the audience also might be struggling with this. I'm also struggling with this. When I was interning in this company, I had this 9 to 5 culture, and I understood within a span of 1 month that this is not the life that Kirti you want for yourself at all. So from then and there, I was like, I have to build something of my own, or rather work on a startup of someone else. But I can't be in the 9 to 5 at all. So ma'am, how was your experience as a corporate girly, I would say?
So I started my career as an internal auditor with one of the most reputed consultancies in the world today. And I was there for a good span of time where I feel that, you know what, I learned a lot in terms of maybe vendor management, payments, auditing, and, you know, physical verification. I learned everything from there. And then I moved to, so first I was in a consultancy, then I moved to an industry space where I was 1 out of 12 auditors in the world in that one company. I was doing everything, and 9 to 5 felt like a myth. I was working probably like a 9 to I don't know what. And that is when I realized that, you know what, if Pooja, you're so capable and you're giving in that value to another company, why don't you use that value on your own to build something while you're helping more people at the same time? In the same organization, if I'm reporting to, say, my manager and only 11 more auditors across me, why don't I use the same time, same skills, and rather cater to over as many people as I can? So today, Resumate itself has catered to 7,000 plus clients in the last few years. Imagine the value.
Success. We have more to go, I would say. Ma'am, once you might have set up your brand and you might have got that market validation, there's not this, a particular startup does not always see up the hill. There are again lows, and you might be facing some struggles while scaling it up also. So what were those struggles while you were scaling it up? Because after the market validation, it feels sometimes, this is a myth again, we say that it feels like once we have launched the brand, it's done and dusted. But no, I feel it's not done there. That's where the real journey actually begins. So ma'am, how was the journey after launching it?
So I think when we launched, it was nice. We had a few initial clients, and within 6 months, we were a vendor company to one large resume writing company. So we were like a ghostwriter. But with them itself, we wrote 3,000 resumes. So it felt like, wow, everything is hunky-dory and happy and go lucky. But the real struggle came in when I was searching for an investor for my company. And the funny part is I found an amazing company which was ready to invest in my ideas and scaling and growth. But we were ready to, you know, we had the draft in our hand for the investment. And that is when there was a pause. The investment had been taken back. Imagine, before ChatGPT came in, I was looking at an AI app. I was looking at something starting like, you know, you have your resume in less than 1 hour. Whereas today, markets have your resume, like when we talk about proper vendors who write, they take 7 working days. I wanted to have something in less than 30 minutes in your hand, but written by professionals and not AI. I was looking at scaling resume writing industry to a space that, you know what, imagine you're about to take a flight and you need your resume. As soon as you're checking in and, you know, you're going through the security check-in, you pay for the resume, and before you board your flight, you have your resume in your hand. Okay. Imagine that scale.
That's something I would be really impressed by, I would say.
Obviously, this is a few years back, because today when we say it takes less than 3 seconds for a ChatGPT or any AI generative to build a resume.
Yes, ma'am.
So for me, when I say years ago, I think that was my initial struggle. I was so disappointed at that point that I didn't know what was laying ahead of me. It felt like Resumate was just put down in a box and shut. But then today I realized that it was probably for my good. That is when, you know, I personally grew it. So I didn't need Atmanirbhar happened on my own.
It's God's plan by Drake, guys. I believe in God's plan a lot.
I feel like earlier I didn't used to believe in it, and my mom would say, "जो होता है भले के लिए होता है. It happens for your own good." And I was like, "That's all something that I don't want to talk about and don't want to believe, because what good is coming to me when this particular situation is happening?" But now when I see the bigger picture and years have passed, I feel like no, it had some motive, and I feel like I am this way right now because those particular things happened in my past. Ma'am, coming down. You're a pretty lady.
Thank you.
So, in the entrepreneurship industry, I would ask you, were there any gender discrimination? What other struggles? Like, we talked about the struggles you faced as an entrepreneur. Now, for the women out there, I want to ask, like, are there any extra kind of struggles that one has to go through?
So initially when I was hiring, I had to tell everyone that I am the assistant to the CEO.
Oh.
I made my brother stand as a man to be the CEO and say, listen, भाई मेरे लिए बात कर ले ना, please tell them you're hiring. मैं ही सब कुछ करूँगी, but the name is yours. And then he's like, why? क्यों, क्या हो गया? I said, you know what? There's this person who's not ready to trust me, saying female will not pay them my salary. I just looked in. I don't know. I wanted to probably slap, yank, do everything at the same point of time. But that is when I realized that until you don't build yourself as a woman, it takes really long for anyone else to trust you. Somehow I've had struggles where I met someone in terms of a client, and he's like, who's the CEO of the company? Because it's a very new one. I said, sir, it's me. You, CEO. I was like, yeah, why, what happened? I thought it's a male. I was like, nahi sir, main hu. That was it. So, see, women have to work twice as hard in terms of, because they handle so much.
Yeah.
And I might not be very feminist, but the fact being that I know when I had to struggle with probably, a couple of things which were on my plate, it felt very hard. And while you were proving your validation or proving resume its identity, I think that itself was a challenge. But yeah, I mean, now down the years, I don't think people have to ask, "Are aap CEO male ho ki female?" So yeah.
It makes this so much more sense, because when you're saying this, I feel all the women who have this motivation and skills in them, they might have also struggled in that particular field. And even after having all the skills, maybe better than a man, or maybe equal to a man, they have struggled in the competition a lot. The race is like, I feel like it's very, I would not say the word, but it's very partial. But because I've also felt it sometimes. But then again, I feel like being a woman, it also brings you a lot of benefits on the table. I have used, people would say it using your woman card, but I feel like if you are being demeaned for being a woman, and maybe you have this partiality going on with you, आप अपने उस charm को भी use कर सकते हो. Like a very fun thing, I've always I've got my tickets of plane upgraded to window seat and emergency. So very fun thing I have used, because they always say कि तुम औरत हो, and then you are using these things to your advantage. But I feel like औरत हूँ, इसीलिए I have to face other things also at the very same time. So yes, that's it, ma'am. So ma'am, now we are going to this fun segment that's called the rapid fire. You might have already heard it, but this is a different one because we are doing entrepreneur talks here. So it's called Fund It or Kill It, and I'll give you few ideas of startup. These are not MVPs or prototypes. These are just ideas taken out of random people's mind, and you can either fund it or you can kill it. So, and you can give reasons to why you want to fund it or kill it. So the first startup is a Gen Z workplace training platform which teaches the managers how to work with Gen Z. So you feel like it's a trendy or a necessity?
Fund it.
You want to fund it? Because when we were, ma'am, go ahead.
So a lot of managers today, because they have so many years of experience and they are very non-Gen Z, I know people complaining, oh my God, my Gen Z reportee, she did hardly any work, but she got everything and she got accoladed. I'm like, they need to learn to understand that the industry or the entire AI space, or say quick shortcuts, is the new thing. You have to smart think, right? It's supposed to be smart work and not hard work. And a lot of managers have forgotten this. Yes, so I think they need to understand the lingos with Gen Zs. They need to understand the timing with Gen Zs, and they need to understand that it's okay if they do jhajat काम, but your end result is being met. So fund it, definitely.
Ma'am, you classify yourself as a Gen Z or a millennial?
I think a millennial at heart.
Millennial at heart, okay.
I am a millennial in all spaces, so yeah.
But you are aware of all the Gen Z.
I'm aware. My team, so at Resumate, we have interns. Every 3 months, we have a set of new interns from different colleges, different backgrounds. So I feel every 3 months, I'm learning something new. There's a new batch which comes in and I learn something new.
Nice, ma'am. The second startup idea is an AI exit predictor, which predicts which employee will resign in the next 90 days. So to maintain the ethical line. So would you have it for
Kill it.
Kill it?
You cannot judge someone's employee, yaar. AI cannot decide on basis. You know, AI, I was having a chat the other day at this one business school. And actually we were chatting on, I went to judge an event on generative AI. And I was just telling them, Gen AI or AI as a whole, they do not consider human emotions. Today, you don't know what the employee is facing as a struggle. If you predict, okay, you know what, AI predicts that an employee will quit in 6 months, what if he quits in 30 days? Right? You do not do that. And the fact is that you're doubting your employees already because you're employing an AI to decide if your employee will leave or not. So I feel that AI can only predict, but the fact that you're putting such a prediction into place itself means you're not trusting the employee. So I feel it's a kill it, yaar.
I would also not fund. If I had my company, I would also not fund it. Third thing is a compliance marketplace in which they match the startups with vetted CAs and CS instantly to manage the finances. So that if I'm starting a company, so I would just get access to the best CAs to manage the accounts.
See, fund it sounds a good idea only when the startup would have such a budget to hire such a CA.
Okay, makes so much sense.
And kill it because if I have my own family CA who's handling my traditional businesses or my entire family's wealth has been managed by a particular CA or my tax filing has been done by him, even if I have the best in the industry, I will still go to someone I trust. So it's a very mix-oriented batch.
Ma'am, next is an expense management app for student founders. It's a mobile app that tracks the expense. They split the startups and personal spend and generates investor-ready burn reports. So now,
I think yes, fund it. Because it's just going to ease out the startup owner's work. Because as a startup owner, as I mentioned, you're doing everything, right? You're doing jhadu, katka, pocha, to talking to VPs and different people, and you're managing everything, you're growing it, you're marketing it. Bhai, tumhare expenses ki to
बहुत ज़्यादा.
it's just like beep. The point being कि अगर you yourself don't know. So today when I started, I myself didn't know कि भाई मेरा personal expense कौन सा करूँ और company expense में क्या करूँ. Today I'm able to draw a salary thanks to my CA, but I couldn't afford a CA in the initial sometimes. So I think an expense management app would be really nice to allocate the finances, saying, "Acha, you know what? If I'm traveling by a public vehicle, is it because I'm going for my company work or am I going to eat food?" I will literally lose track of it. So I think it's a fund it. Let's do this.
And you are a spendthrift, so I feel like you would need it.
I'm a shopaholic.
We were talking about this earlier, and I love shopaholics. I would just relate, and we'd go on a long shopping together if you want. Ma'am, next is an AI due diligence SaaS, which is software as a service for angel investors, in which it auto analyzes the startup financials before investing for you.
I think not really. Kill it. Because again, AI has something, right? It's a generative model. So I'll give you a very simple example. If a company has been hiring certainly from a particular college, say only XIMs or IIT guys are being hired, and AI is so trained that it will only pick up CVs from there. Okay? So AI does not bring in newness. Now coming to a startup where you're talking about financials or the reports or, deciding if an investor or an angel investor should invest into it. Now what happens over here is if an angel investor has a very particular type, if he only wants to invest into IT startups, others will not be taken into consideration because AI is programmed in such a way. And when we talk about Atmanirbhar India, we're talking about the startup industry in India, it's booming. So why do we just put it as a curb because of an AI software? And I don't think AI should have the right to decide who's worth putting an investment into and who not. So I feel everyone should get an equivalent chance to put their pitch out, to go out in public and speak about their startup. It's their own baby, right? Everyone's startup is their own baby. Today, it takes very long, it takes years of hard work, hours of sleepless nights to be able to build something. And imagine being rejected because of an AI software, not even a human. That itself is so dreadful.
Makes so much sense. There was this news on the television also once that one company rejected so many like bundles of resumes in just one go, and it was done by AI, and these resumes qualified for it.
So AI softwares they're supposed to be ATS is the applicant tracking software. And when we say your resume has to parse through it, it's PARSE, not PASS. And you need a minimum score of 80%. So imagine if someone has 78, but sheer capability, very talented, but his resume lacks keywords. He misses a chance of 6 months to go back to the same company. So in AI, it rejects resumes for 6 months. It's kept into the trash can. So 6 months, if your resume has less words, less keywords, it does not match the responsibilities or the ATS score, 6 months you can't apply to that company.
And that's a sad thing, I would say, of using the
So imagine a talented human being applying to one of the big consultancies in the world. Imagine the plight that they'd be facing. They cannot apply to the same place for 6 months because an AI software rejected them.
That's why it was so much in the news at that time. Ma'am, the last is a payroll on demand for startups in which the employees withdraw salary on a daily basis instead of monthly. This is a very funny thing.
Kill it. Kill it. Please. So I feel daily basis is like, you know what, even if you have a software, it's a good idea. But the fact that in a startup, if you're going to keep such a culture, people are just going to come in to withdraw that money. The hard work concept of working till the entire month to be able to earn that one perk, right? So when, as an example, when you probably appeared for an exam when you were a child, and if you got bad marks, you would get one tight whack. And if you got good marks or you got 90% plus, you'd get a chocolate, you'd get a laddu in your mouth. Same way I feel today as a culture of working, you should be working the entire month to deserve it, right? On an everyday basis, if you're going to just withdraw some money out because of your personal needs, you're just going to go into lax mode. कि you know what, मुझे तो हर दिन पैसा मिल ही रहा है ना, भले मैं काम करूँ कि नहीं करूँ. Even if it is a very flexible way, startups would feel कि you know what, every day let's give them a perk. But you realize when you give them every day the same thing, they become so accustomed to it that they're going to be just like treating it as ordinary. So today, once a month when the salary comes, people are so happy कि अरे यार first तारीख है salary है, you know कुछ तो मीठा हो जाए आज पहली तारीख है is the legitimate definition. So imagine you putting everyone to an everyday perk, you will just be bored of it. You'll be like मुझे रोज मीठा नहीं खाना, right? So it's a kill it यार. No.
They ultimately end up leaving the startup, I would say.
I don't think they're going to be happy. The culture is such that, you know what, if I'm getting something every day, I'm going to be so used to it. That means my input or my hard work that I put in will also reduce. So it's like a inversely proportional. तुमको जितना पैसा मिलेगा, तुम्हारा hard work उतना कम होगा.
Makes sense, ma'am. So this segment is over. We have few more segments ahead, ma'am, for you. Now we're gonna jump to this talk where because we all have these. I saw a very cordial relationship of you with your mom yesterday, and I wanna ask you, like, what was your family support? How was it like when you were founding this particular Resumate company?
So while I decided to start something or start my entrepreneurial journey, I was in between, of course, pandemic. We were all sitting at home, and one day we were sitting for dinner. And I still remember, I just kept my fork and spoon and plate down. I was like, मुझे अपना job छोड़ना है. That was the one line that came in. Listen, मुझे अपना job छोड़ना है. And everyone just looked up and they're like, क्यों? I'm like, I want to be an entrepreneur. And obviously we had a lot of chat about it, but I think I've been blessed when it comes to my family. My dad was the first person to say, हाँ यार बेटा जो करना है कर. I think, you know, your parents are the reason that you get the wings to fly. At least especially with daughters, your father is the biggest backing that you will have.
Father's kid.
Mama will just be like, हाँ बेटा चल, we'll do it. Dada will be like, abhi kar? Let's do it. Drop your resignation right now. And I think my mom and dad were the first two people I I told them about, my sister was like, oh bro, so cool this is. So Vanshika is my younger sister, and she is a crystal healer, and she's a tarot reader. So I told her, you know what, I'm starting this. And I remember she told me on a very spiritual level that, you know what, Pooja, this is the right path you're joining. So this was the advice my sister gave me is, you know what, you're on the right path. And mom and dad backed me up in every inch. So there were nights I've cried. There have been nights I've done nothing. There have been nights I've been struggling to figure कि भाई मुझे करना क्या है, even after starting, right? When I was on the verge of launching. And I remember dad, mom, my sister and me, we would sit and literally have a chat every night कि अच्छा, you know what, how's the progress been? क्या चल रहा है? So I think I've been blessed to have the best family I could have ever asked for.
Because it is very much justified. When I was having this talk, when I was listening to your mom yesterday, she sounded like any other mother who's proud of her 2 young daughters, and she sounded like that. And that's when I said that this is how exactly I want my mom also to be like in the next 5 to 7 years, because it makes so much sense, ma'am, because I have seen few students who have this capability in college itself, who have this capability and skills in them, but maybe because of the family restrictions, they're not able to fulfill them. They're like, पापा क्या बोलेंगे, पापा से डर लगता है वाला चीज आ जाता है factor. So that happens always. So I mean, it's a good thing for you, ma'am.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing for you, I feel like so. So ma'am, now we are going to another fun segment. This was ideated by the R&D team of Growth Garage itself, and it was done just because you are the founder of Resume. So it's a segment where you'll be given few resumes and you have to review them from your perspective. Please don't say the names, ma'am, because these are resumes of our teammates only, and you'll be finding mine also because I won't be apparently getting the chance to get my resume reviewed by you. So we'll start with this particular resume.
Write a resume in a third person saying the professional or a visionary leader or a transformational growth professional. So you don't write with I. Then in terms of certifications, I think we can add a few more. If the person can do more certifications, it'll be really nice. Then maybe we can talk about, you know, the fact being that we're talking about extracurricular activities. You know what, singing, debate, oration, they don't fall as extracurriculars. This is more like your passion.
Okay, ma'am.
Now imagine someone saying cooking as extracurricular. वो तो तुमको घर पे anyway खाना बनाना है, right? Today a boss will not say अच्छा तुमने खाना बनाया, it's extracurricular. It is your daily routine. So when I say extracurricular activities, it can be anything like participating in any fest, sharing a workshop, being a part of any troupe, any dance committee. Those are extracurriculars, which is above and beyond your academic learning. So today if you say singing, you should say was a part of a singing event. Or when you were a part of a debate, you were a part of which side, maybe for the notion or against. So you have to be more clear about the resume. Then talking about language, we always say English has to be first. Then we talk about your other languages are fine. Going to skills, you can call them as key skills or core competencies, because skills is a very let loose hanging kind of a thing. When I say skills, they can be hard skills, they can be soft skills, they can be interpersonal skills. So we need to be more strong. So when I say core, it means your basic skills, right? So I'm not distinguishing between hard and soft. So I'm saying core competencies or key skills. So now, teamwork is a skill which is understood that you already have because you're working in an institute with over 60,000 plus people. If you don't have teamwork, there will be nothing that will work. So it's an assumed skill that you have, right? Now, when you say something like time management, as engineering students, the one thing you learn in your entire degree is how to manage time. Yes, so again, an assumed space that should not be here. Talking about leadership, add a kind of adjective to it. It can be visionary, it can be transformational, or it can be leadership and growth. So it'll be nice to give a statement which is not let loose or hanging, right? Then we can talk about public relations is nice, but then you see effective communication and public relations is somewhere overlap. If someone has communication, that is when they are into public relations, or someone who is already into public relations and is coordinating and, you know, speaking to people, it's understood that they have good communication. So somewhere the skills are very, very, very overlapping here. Then because there is no work experience over here, right, why don't you add more certifications, add any kind of training programs that have been attended, add any kind of what is the goal of the resume, because the goal is somewhere missing. It says personal goal, but somewhere you can realign it in a better way. And finally, the references, you don't give out numbers. So when I see here the mobile numbers and email IDs are out there in public, imagine this is breach of privacy. Your number can get circulated to any telecaller on this planet and they will call you, madam, aapko card kharidna hai kya? So you don't know who your resume is going into hands, right? So always for reference, we say available on request. So that's a checkpoint.
So this resume was a fail, I guess. Now coming down to the next one. This is the second resume we have now.
So let's start with the very basic, the icons which are under the name. Yes, ma'am. You don't need icons. An ATS or an applicant tracking software will not pick on icons. It will go as a plain blank piece of paper. So you cannot have any icons, no photographs, and photograph can, A, it will not get passed into the ATS. B, if a recruiter is in a bad mood, बेचारा तुम्हारा दिन बर्बाद. Imagine he says, अरे यार क्या शक्ल है, नहीं चाहिए, reject. Or imagine if it's a guy and his collar button is not shut. Yes, ma'am. क्या unprofessional बंदा है यार, ऐसे टीम में ही नहीं रखना. So it's always a matter कि भाई ये कितना बुढ़ा लग रहा है. Imagine you have someone who looks overage or someone underage. Someone who has a baby face, they look very young for a position. भाई ये क्या ही काम करेगी, इसको तो हमको baby mentor करना पड़ेगा. So imagine your photograph can be such a distinguishing factor कि तुमको किसी को hire करना है कि नहीं based on your photo. And imagine if your name is a problem. Now name, you can't do anything, right? At least the least you can do is safeguard yourself from putting a photo. So that is one. Then when we talk about education, it's perfect. But when we say 2027, or you can say with pursuing, because you're not sure of, now see 2027 you're going to pass, but क्या guarantee है तुम pass हो रहे हो?
Again, a question and a doubt always there.
So I think it's very nice to say pursuing. Then it's always good to put your CGPA, lovely. Kit entrepreneur shell, it's a director profile, lovely. Directed, those are amazing. Maybe we can add some more quantitative numbers over here saying, handled a team of X number of people, or worked in collaboration with say 500 people from the college or from campus, or talk about vendors, or talk about your outside professionals who are coming. You can have the numbers over here. So what happens is when you show value, today on paper it's very basic duties which is assumed that you're doing. Yes, right? But what makes you stand out is above and beyond. So what is the value that today you are bringing to the table? So today if I say Kirti, who is she? What has she done in her life which makes her so different from the remaining people? Right? So it is your numbers that you bring. That's when we say the quantitative data on a resume is the most striking feature. So that is one. Then I think the projects look fine. That is lovely. That is good to go with that. Then your technical skills are lovely. Maybe your languages is good. Backend is amazing. It's very good that this person has actually segregated all the technical skills. I think that is very nice. Maybe we've not added MS Excel because it's understood. Microsoft Word is very understood that you know it. But for people who don't have such work experience, you should add Microsoft Office, and in bracket you can do Excel, Word, PowerPoint. That'll be nice. Finally, we're going to your core, which is data structuring and mathematics. May you have linear algebra. But what happens, your coursework is different. But I think this profile has missed on the core competencies, right? Yeah. We see there is no core competency. What is the strength of this person? Now, when we talk about the education, this can be aligning to the education. Say when I'm talking about someone who's pursuing an BTech, right, in say computer science, what is the core competency? Today as a director of such an event or such a cell, what has the person done? Where is the core? Your core strength is missing. How do I base your resume? How do I figure out what you're doing? So yes, that is something over here.
Would you hire this person? Ma'am, then we come down to this one.
Again, pursuing no photographs or no icons or photos or something. Maybe we can hyperlink the email ID and LinkedIn. It'll be very nice to hyperlink it because then it's an official thing. And some point of time when you just put in a specific name. So when I say Pooja Anandani near LinkedIn, there can be so many Pooja Anandani. It's always important to copy paste the original link and put it. Maybe shorten that link, but make it a link and not just a name. Right? So that'll be something. Again, pursuing for education, it'll be really nice. We can do that. Then we're talking about, again, core competencies is something that could have been put in before. In terms of experience, again, I feel the numbers are missing. Now, see, there's a specific number over here which says 20,000 plus employees, right?
Yes, ma'am.
When we talk about in data intern, right? When we talk about HR data intern, there's 20,000 plus.
Yes,
now, do you know ATSs do not accept the plus sign?
They do not.
No, it goes as a blank white screen. It has to be over 20,000.
Okay.
So these are the technical details that no one around would really understand.
I would just jot all of this down to improve my resume.
So even here, when I say projects, again, it's a number with a plus sign.
Yes, ma'am.
Cannot have that, right? I think otherwise this one looks fine. We're moving down. I think that's perfect. Great. Now you see the spacing issues. Under projects, where there is, the first project at, say, Zomato, and below that there is a bullet which says conducted 50 plus. You see the spacing over here, and you go to the leadership and entrepreneurship, and you see the spacing under the R&D and the bullet. You see that?
Yes, ma'am. There's a difference.
The distinguishing factor is if your eye is used to seeing something very specific, if it is not that, your eye will just flick.
Yes, ma'am.
Is the person very bad with their geometry? So alignment is something in life and on paper. That is when your resume speaks for you. What kind of a candidate are you?
Yes,
right? If you don't have alignment in your life, you're not going to be able to bring alignment in work.
Yes,
so there is so much over here that comes in. Again, I feel core competencies is missing, and maybe the skills have been pushed too down. If you could put the skills on the top, right? So your projects are done on basis of your skills. So first you're supposed to highlight the skills. Now today, when you start learning, you start with A, B, C, D. Then you start reading sentences like I like eating or my name and so and so. And that is when you go to do black books and projects and you draft papers, right? So imagine your skills are like your ABCs. So A would be adaptability, B would be business transformation, C would be communication, D would be decision making. Until you don't have your ABCD clear, how are your projects coming into place? This is like, now today after I read this resume, I will actually go back to asking ki Ram kaun hai, jab tumhari puri Ramayan khatam ho jati hai. Right? So imagine I would want to know my characters first. I want to know what are my ABCDs and then go down. So yes, that is for this one.
Now we come down to the last resume. Please judge this.
Lovely. I think the name is too bold. Let's literally reduce the size would be really good. Or hyperlink your email ID and maybe put in your LinkedIn. That will be really good too. Right. Also, you don't need to have your address. Now, when I say if you're based out of a certain place, if this professional is based out of a certain place, you're putting geographic boundaries to someone. So today, if an employee is sitting in, say, Dubai or a UAE or Saudi, why will they hire someone coming from an X place? They will not. So it's always nice not to put your location unless really asked about. Right. It's like I won't say it's a cheat code, but it is a way to increase your chances. Because if someone is specific looking, say if I want an employee from Mumbai, I will not hire someone if I see it's from Patna. I will immediately reject the resume, right? But if I see the person is so talented, ki, you know what, this person is capable, I don't mind moving across my geographic boundary. I will literally extend more. So let's not do location over here. We talk about your experience. It says it's co-founder, lovely, but the co has to be CO. That is lovely. Building a platform for professionals, okay. But then what are you doing over here? like what is the person doing over here as a co-founder at this learning academy? Is it the leads that have been taken in separately? Because each of them comes in as a very different picture, right? When you see the sizes, because they are so striking, it becomes very difficult to figure what is this person specializing in, right? Now talking about, say, if the person is a co-founder at the beginning, they had started in 2021, but is it the same organization that this person is a part of, or is it a different organization? It says KIT, Sathi, perfect. But now when I go to Vizo, I don't think the person has put in the roles and responsibilities of as a co-founder. What are you accountable for? What is a person accountable for? Supposedly, if I am the founder, what is it that I bring to the table over the last few years that I've been working and growing Resume? What have I done? What is the value addition? And that is exactly what the co-founder has to do, is highlight more. Then we talk about numbers. A lot of numbers are missing. Now as a marketing lead, if someone ran a PR campaign, they ran a marketing strategy or a budget, right? What was it that the person has worked with? That is what we have to highlight over here. Then we talk about, again, your geotechnical engineering intern at Larsen & Toubro, but beautiful. Over here, again, numbers are missing. Also, maybe something exceptional above and beyond. Now, when I say prepared BOQs or bill of quantities, it sounds very manual, right? It sounds a very technical job. Okay, you know what? It's like a very drafting kind of a work. But what is it that you're doing above and beyond, right? When as an geotechnical engineering intern, you can say assisted team in learning so and so process. So the person can say worked with XYZ clients. Or when we talk about geotechnical engineering, what sort of projects did this person see during the internship period? So that would be really lovely. Then you see this material procurement intern and only vendor coordination. It's a let loose hanging. What is vendor coordination? Did the person do it? Was a person a part of the vendors? Was a person apart from the team? So it's a very, very hanging, let loose sort of a space, right? Go to your last and final WorkX, which is Swift Engicon Private Limited, helped coordinate with tasks, deliveries, and movement of materials. That is an understood responsibility as an intern that someone has to do this. But when we say, wow, as an intern, if this person has done so much, what is above and beyond, right? Wow. This makes it sound very manual or very, superficial level, that if I'm supposed to do this, I'm doing it. But above and beyond, where am I going? What am I doing, right? Again, education, pursuing, it'll be lovely. Oh wow, this person is ranked in the top 1% of the class. Commendable. That can be an achievement. So why just put it under education? You can have this person can have an extra segment called accolades and achievements, and in that highlight it, that you know what, I am from the top 1 ranking percentage in the class. So yes, again, now going to soft skills, creativity is understood that it's there. Communication, understood that it's there. Creative problem solving is understood. Now when I read engineering, you know what happens? It's a very basic funda. An engineer learns to do everything in the course of engineering, and then some people have a job change. They don't like engineering. Right? So now imagine if I'm saying creative problem solving. Engineers are supposed to do that. They're supposed to have a creative approach to solving a problem. Right? When we talk about like a machine, and I'm going to quote a very movie example. 3 Idiots?
Yes, ma'am.
A refrigerator can be a machine as well as a pant zip can be a machine. It's a problem solving idea. So that is what creative problem solving is, understood that engineering students are supposed to have it. Right? Moving on to certifications, maybe we can put in the years of completion and the name of organizations from where the certification has been done. And I guess with that we can come to a close.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Okay, so would you hire this person?
would reconsider the resume after it's edited.
Okay, for sure, ma'am. Okay, now we come down to this, ma'am. You were meant there are many when we were reviewing the resumes. I've also come across few resumes, and even when I was unprofessional, I would say, not that I'm professional very much right now, but when I did not have so many experiences on my hand, it was very tough to make a resume. So because of that, I've seen many of my friends also falsify the facts. So how do you identify that? And if someone is not having an experience, what do they add on their resume? Because we can't apparently add we are the hostel captain or maybe yellow house captain in school. That's not something that one would be needing. So
Definitely. So I always tell people who don't have experience, especially freshers who don't have internships, who don't have work ex, the most important thing that you can highlight is your extracurricular activities or your certifications and your training programs. Because we say that learning is a lifelong process. Why don't you add that while before you get a job? You should be learning to be able to, what is your skill. Supposedly now it's an engineering student and they want to go into maybe say an engineering job, right? It can be with real estate, it can be with automobiles, engineering is everywhere, right? It's basically fine tuning of the brain. Now, how do you want to advance this? Why don't you learn, or why doesn't the person learn or train or take certifications in that certain area that they want to excel into or proceed with, right? So I feel that is very important. Falsification of facts is the last thing I would ever recommend anyone to ever do on their resume. Imagine you are not proud of what you've done. That's why you need help of lies. That does not make you a candidate of stature or dignity. Just to get something into the market, if you have to falsify your identity, I don't think it's worth getting that job.
it's and the HR also catch that, I feel.
So what happens is HRs today are very smart. They have been into this space for so long. So now today, imagine someone tells me I'm very good with, say, if I'm talking about Chinese, if I know Mandarin or Cantonese, if a HR knows how good or bad I am, he will start with ni hao or she she.
That's where you get caught.
And if you don't know how to answer that back, imagine I say she she means bye, but she she means thank you. Sayonara would be bye. Imagine sayonara saying hi. Right? So obviously when you talk about facts, now someone has probably done an internship, supposedly with resume, okay? And if the HR knows me and comes and asks, listen, you had this employee or what? Nahi yaar, mere paas to aisa koi nahi tha. That resume has such a big stain on them that they would not be hired by that company for the rest of their lives, forget 6 months. So yeah. That's about it.
Ma'am, you were saying this particular sentence in between, like if just imagine that you are doing engineering and you want to have a career in also engineering, but all of the peers that I have been surrounded with, they are doing everything except for engineering. They're maintaining their academics. I'm also working in different sectors, I would say, but I'm maintaining my academics. And apparently, because of the different sectors that I'm working in, I'm losing the interest in my academics. Like I'm not wanting to pursue the same career that I thought of first.
And that's perfectly fine, because as we spoke earlier, you said you have a marketing background, you are doing an engineering space, you have also been working with other things that I remember we were talking about. And it's perfectly fine to have that, right? Until you don't get exposure of every industry or every role that you like, how do you know which is the best for you? Now today, if I would not have taken those jobs, I would not know what I really wanted to do. I would not be sitting here as a CEO and founder. I would have probably been an employee in a consultancy, sitting from 9 to 9 in the night, crying and begrudging my life and saying, "Kyun? Mere saath kyun ho raha hai?" Right? Yeah. And today I'm like, oh my God, life is challenging me. Aaja, chal kushti khelte hain. So until you don't know what you're best at, and for that, what you have to do is explore and try, and it's okay to lose interest. It's okay not to like what you're doing. But that is when you realize that it's high time you make a shift in your life.
That's it for that part, I would say. Very out of the box question, ma'am. Do you believe in manifestation?
1000%.
Because I do too, and I want to have a little chat about this with you, because you told me that your sister is a crystal reader, and so you might be having more insights on these particular genre, I would say. So ma'am, how much do you believe in manifestation? Has it worked for you? And like, how do you talk to the universe, I would say?
So I believe the universe or my angels or my guardian angels, they are my ghar ka chotu. Very simple. I have to just order them. Chotu mere liye ye kar, mere liye chai bana. I don't do that. But the point being, right, it's the fact that they are here to help you. And today, if my sisters wouldn't have been with me, I would not have been here so far. So Vanshika is a crystal healer, she's a tarot reader, she's an angel guide message deliverer. She connects with universe and different realms, right? So with that, I know that manifestations because of her have become so much easier. So today I tell you the one line that I actually go with is, with great power comes great responsibility. It's a Spider-Man quote. But the fact being that it is so important that if you have the power, you have a weapon in your hand. You can either use it to protect the country or you can use it to kill people. It's upon you. How do you responsibly use the power that's invested? And I feel this is one of the biggest manifestations that I have, is I wanted the power of being a CEO. But I also have the responsibility to every individual who has trusted me. That is one. Secondly, I would also go with one more. It's a very funny word. It's a funny 4 words. It says, "To infinity and beyond" by Buzz Lightyear. Right? It's a Toy Story thing, but I think the moment you decide, the infinity is to the endless positive possibilities coming your way. And there is nothing in the universe that can stop you from achieving your goals. What you dream of, you believe in it and you manifest it. So it's ABR. Ask the universe, believe in it, and nothing in the world is going to stop you from receiving it. So that's where we do ABR. With great power comes great responsibility, and to infinity and beyond. And Vanshika.
Was so nice to talk about, I would say. We are going to wrap this up session really soon. We are commencing towards the end. One clear motto, one particular line you want to say to the audience, to the young entrepreneurs, and even to not the entrepreneurs, but they just want to excel in their life, make their parents proud by doing something or the other. They don't have a vision, but they have the motivation to do it. So one particular line you have always followed for the audience.
So I always will tell people is follow your heart. No matter what, you might fall 7 times. Get up 8. It's okay to have a career change. It's okay to have a different job. It's okay that you don't fit into a certain space. It's okay that you don't want to be a part of office politics. It's okay to start afresh. Every single day is a new beginning. Every single day is a blessing, right? The fact that you have to get up, pick yourself, pick up those broken pieces. It might be a heartbreak that I'm struggling with. It might be someone's had a terrible day at work. Someone's boss has yanked and yelled at them. Right? But still what matters is actually standing up and showing up for yourself. And it's parents is secondary, your work is secondary. Get up and show up for yourself is the most important thing today. I know that I have a long way to go from here also. I feel I've done so little in my life, right? What motivates me is, oh my God, tomorrow's a new morning and a fresh beginning, and I'm not going to waste it.
So it's all like, do it for yourself, guys. If not for anyone, do it for yourself. That's it for the podcast, ma'am. It was great having you. This chatty conversation that we had didn't feel like an interview at all. It made me go into the depths of the entrepreneurial skills that you share. Again, that comes with the picture. But the insights that you have on life with the manifestation talk and every other talk that we have apart from the entrepreneurship, it was great having you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And we hope on meeting
very soon. So thank you so much for having me over. And yes, looking forward to more.
Signing off from Growth Garage, guys.